Troubleshooting.
Yo, there you go. There you go. You're coming up now.
I can be heard now.
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you do differently? What did you do?
You hit the wrong, you hit the right damn button for a change, man.
Oh, so that's on me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I do this every day. I know I'm connected, I think.
I understand that.
I have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. But it's good to be with you this morning, my brother.
It's beautiful, my brother. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the moment that you didn't know that you was waiting for. My guest today, my special guest today is, oh man, it's been a long time coming, but here we are. We're here today.
And it's not only the first time, this is the first time, but not the only time. We will be back.
We'll be back. This will be a recurring regular thing per everyone's availability. Yes, indeed. So ladies and gentlemen.
Who's that Pokemon?
Yes, George Wallace. This is how nerdy I am. You've learned something new about me today.
It's all good. It's all good. I feel good today. I'm here in Wakanda. I'm down here in Wakanda, which is Atlanta, of course. And you know this, everybody. There you go. Show him some respect. It's all good. I'm having fun. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta. I think it's about 72 and a cool, brisk day. And I understand in Los Angeles, it's 101 degrees. What the hell is going on out there?
It's 101 Dalmatians outside, brother. It's a hotter than hot. The heat is like, man, it's hot.
Is that from the fires or is that just hot? It's just hot one with the other.
You know what, brother? You know what? Everything about Earth has just been downright disrespectful this year, just in every possible way.
2020 has been a tough year, hasn't it? In all ways, always, man. It's terrible.
It's terrible, just bad. You know, shout out to Charles Barkley. Just bad, just terrible, just a bunch of old plain old knuckleheads.
Man, I didn't know you do voices.
Man, I do things.
You did Charles Barkley. Big ass Charles Barkley. Well, I'm doing well in Atlanta. This COVID has me, and I'm doing crazy stuff, man. I'm eating pork rinds for breakfast.
I ain't seen no pork rinds in years.
You don't know what they are because you're not old enough.
What are you talking about? I grew up eating skins. Skins?
Oh shit! Hey! That's it right there. When you said skins, they can call them pork rinds if they want to. We call them what?
Skins.
Skins.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. Am I validated now?
Are you from? Wait a second. But you're born and raised in Los Angeles. Where are you from?
I'm far from Los Angeles, my brother. I'm inside of Los Angeles, but I am not of Kentucky. I was born in Cincinnati. My whole family's in Cincinnati.
Oh hell, man! The 513.
The 513.
Stupid ass people in Cincinnati.
And the 859. I can't disagree with you.
Let me tell you something. The stupid people, the whole South, man. I'm born and raised in Georgia. But Cincinnati, Ohio, your greater Cincinnati airport, the greater Cincinnati airport, international airport, is in the state of Kentucky. You tell me that ain't screwed up. The greater Cincinnati International Airport is in the state of Kentucky.
Bro, they can't do shit right. They can't do nothing right. They can't. They couldn't even put the airport in the right damn place.
Exactly. And why do they call it international? Let's make it perfectly clear. Covington, Cincinnati, across that river. The only thing international in Cincinnati is the House of Pancakes. Let's get this shit straight right now, okay?
The hop? You talking about the hop?
The one with the one with the syrup on the table, the sticky top. I don't go there anymore. I haven't been there in years, man.
IHOP is trash, man. IHOP is trash. Like you'll pull the whole first layer of your forearm skin off because of the syrup stuck to the damn table and the strawberry preserves.
Oh, so you've been there,
Extra goofy.
They used to have like 4 or 5 different syrups and sweets on the side, preserves. They still got that in the jars.
I reckon that they do, and they got like what they call compote today, compote, which is not, if you ask for blueberries for your blueberry pancakes, they'll give you regular ass pancakes, just a regular short stack with blueberry goo on top. That's the compote.
Blueberry goo.
Might as well be compost.
I have never liked blueberries. I think there's no taste to blueberries for me. I'm from Georgia. Now we had blackberries down here, right? Now, blackberries taste good, but blueberries, I just get nothing out of it. I don't know. Maybe I should try it again. I've tried it before. There's no taste for me. They say it's good for you.
They're great for you, but it's a pretty non-committal fruit to me. You got to have 99 of them for it to have a real flavor profile. You got to have, I mean, they sell a little bitty
But 99, hell, your whole teeth, your mouth is blue by then.
your whole
purple.
Your whole situation about to be blue, like you just had a blue squeeze it or like a blue hug.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, man. So for $750.
Yeah. I'm trying to find his accountant right now. It must be really good. As I tweeted out, you multiply it by 4 and you divide it by pi, and then you subtract 7, and then and you put in your tax deductions, and that comes out to $750. Man, Two times in a row.
I was plugging in the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared to c squared. I was trying to find the formula for slope.
No. You got to use pi.
Oh,
you got to use
I was
pi.
using the wrong damn thing this whole time.
Yeah, come on, Trey.
I need to holler at his people because that is pretty incredible.
That's pretty criminal, is what you're trying to say.
Criminal. I misspoke. I
swear this man needs to go to jail, and just flat out rude. He's not a good person at all. I sat there and watched the debates the other night, and some lady had to say on TV, she had to call it a shit show. And that's what it was. I tell you what, this guy didn't respect the rules for the 2 minutes. He didn't respect the moderator. He didn't respect anybody, and didn't respect Joe. He just think everything is about him. It was so disrespectful. But you know, Joe needs somebody like a comedian, somebody that can think fast and just hit him, bam, bam. Because, you know, see, I'm living every day, I'm trying to be the greatest bullshitter in the world. But
so
Trump is kicking my ass, man, in the bullshit department. So
it's all in the name.
He needs somebody, he needs another BSer to come there, you know, because we all bullshitters know each other.
Yes.
You know, we don't know each other, but we know each other.
We're of a similar cloth is what you're saying?
There you go. There
okay.
you go.
We're of a similar ilk.
We could see each other coming from around the block, man.
Look, you could look at somebody's eyes and be like, nah, man. Here you go with them beady little eyes. I don't trust nobody with them beady. That's my mom used to always say. I don't trust them. You got them beady little eyes.
Them beady little
old black.
Now you said 2 country things already. Your beady eyes, and earlier you said reckon.
I'm a country boy, man.
Reckon. That's cool, dude.
I'm telling you.
We country people are good people, man. I swear to God, there's something about us Southerners. We do some stupid shit now. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Absolutely.
But as far as being a human being, a respectful person, and honoring your parents and obeying and doing the right, trying to do the right thing, we Southerners do that. And but we're screwed up in other ways.
You know, those intangibles that we were born with and that we had cultivated coming from where we come from really translated into us doing well and making any kinds of gains wherever we are in the world. Like a place like Los Angeles, easy to get swept away, easy to get lost in a major city or town.
Yeah.
Any place like that, a lot of people are where they are in a negative light because of the lack of direction, because they didn't come with a lot instilled in them, their values, their belief systems. They have no bullshit detectors, so they get, you know what I mean? Like they get swindled left and right, and then that erodes their mind, and didn't have a strong mindset coming into this whole thing. You know what I mean? I was a whole person. I wasn't a complete person. I wasn't, you know, fully evolved when I got here, but I was definitely myself.
Well, that's good.
You know, from there, you just get better at that, you know?
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you grew up in a good upbringing, and you learned the rules from the South and how to be respectful and do your thing. And then you learn how to be a man and take care of yourself too.
Know how to work on cars. If it breaks down, do your own brakes. Maybe do the oil.
Now that I don't know. Okay, listen to me. Hey, if I open my hood, oh my God, I don't even know how. If I were to open my hood, oh my God, I don't even know how to open a hood. But if something were, my buddy Jerry Seinfeld used to say, you just look under there. Is there an off and on switch? That's all I know. And off and on. Do I press the button off and on? I don't know anything about working on a car. I'm sorry. Doing no brakes.
Never did?
Hell no. You know what? This is a different day. This is a different day. When I was growing up, I could change a tire in less than 15 minutes. I don't even know where the tire thing is. Is there a wrench now? Is there a jack? I don't. If I had the jack, I would know where to put the jack now.
Check this
That
out.
place?
If it's a Hyundai today, they don't even give your ass a spare tire. You just on your own.
Is that,
You know what I'm saying?
no. Especially Hyundai, they got a thing they got a donut tire, don't they?
They don't put those in their cars. You just have 4 tires. If one goes limp, you got a limp on home.
Dude,
with your 3 tires.
I beg to differ with you, but I'm sure this is pretty not true. I'm pretty sure every car comes with a spare tire, unless I don't know something. I'm gonna look that up.
I was just as shocked as you. Now, when I came across this information, this was probably a few years ago. Maybe they got their shit together. This is a possibility.
You're talking about Hyundai. You're talking about people that gave you 100,000 miles transmission, 10 years warranty.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me they don't have a donut tire in the car? What? I guess all the tires are donut tires on a Hyundai.
All of them are donut tires. 10-inch rims. I keep them clean though. I keep
them clean.
You know.
Yes.
This is a fun fact. Okay, check this out, George. All right, I found out that you share the same exact birthday as my best friend. Shout out to JC. July the 21st. You also are one day before my birthday and my younger brother's birthday, Chuck. We were born on the same day, 4 years apart, on the 22nd, and you're on the 21st.
Get out of here.
Nah, I'm serious.
Fantastic, man. You just made it, didn't you? Are you not a Cancer?
I technically am. You let the biddies tell you, and they're like, well, you got some Leo tendencies for sure. The next day is Leo. The 23rd.
No, I beg you. I don't know anything about what do you call that?
Zodiac,
whatever you call it. I know nothing about it, but I know I can get along with everybody. I'm a Cancer, and I love people. Okay, but and also Kim Whitley. Kim Whitley is born on our day, and I think
the 21st or the 22nd.
21st.
Okay.
21st. Kim Whitley, Kim Whitley, good friend of mine, comedian.
Shout out to Kim Whitley.
Everybody knows her, beautiful lady, and so it's a good month to be born in July.
We have a lot of July births in my family. A lot of them. Like July is just packed. It's just chock full. My pop's birthday is on the 1st. You know what I'm saying? Like,
does that mean they got like your parents got busy like around before Thanksgiving or Halloween or something like that?
Everybody in our fam went ham in November, October, November. As soon as the fall hits, as soon as, you know what I'm saying, the cuddle season is in full swing. You know, the music slows down a little bit.
That's what it was. They had to come inside.
Yeah, the feeling's deep, and you got to take your ass indoors. Now, this is in the South, y'all, audio listeners. Everyone paying attention right now.
Because we grew up, running around maybe sometime bare feet. It's in the South, y'all.
I wonder how demographically, I wonder if there's a study or like an infographic that shows, all right, people in the South or places where it gets cold as hell, how many July births there are, because everyone had not a damn thing to do. They were vitamin D deficient and ultra rearing and ready to go in November and October. One shit else to do. They only had 5, 9, and 12.
Back in the day.
Yeah, they weren't binging Netflix.
That's why Netflix. What are you talking about? Let me tell you something about my grandparents. My grandparents, okay? Mm-hmm. Both my grandmothers had 21 kids.
Ooh,
you heard what? That's 42 kids.
That's a skill set.
I saw my grandmama last week, and she's pregnant right now. No, let me tell you. No, but the reason they had so many kids back in the day, let's say down in the my grandparents' 1900s or something like that. Mm-hmm. They had no 7-Eleven to go to or no movie. They went to bed at 7 o'clock, okay, when it got dark. Mm-hmm. And you can't sleep from 7 to 7. Wow. So they turn over bam. Turn over, bam, another baby. I'm sure they had babies with babies in the bed with them.
That's the move. It's like, well, I can't sleep for 12 hours. Can you sleep for 12 hours? I damn sure can't sleep for 12 hours.
What you want to do?
Well, we can burn an hour at least.
Oh, they probably hit it in 15, 20 minutes. They were done at the most.
Oh, so
that's... They didn't even, back in the day, they didn't even make love, I don't think. They would just put together and the dude would just hit it and quit it.
They reproduced.
That's the color purple. Did you hear Seeley say in the color, was it Seeley? not was it Sealy? Yeah, it was Sealy. In The Color Purple, he just get on top of me, do his business, and get off. That's what they did back in the day. No love.
Man.
'Cause,
There
you
wasn't none
know,
back then. I figured there wouldn't be none now. I figured that there was then. Plus, look, game was built in back then, I'm sure. Like, look, my dad raised me on some music that I was like, man, y'all ain't have to say shit. Like, just
oh yeah, the
put the
music
shit in
was
the
there.
8-track and just look over at it like this. Huh? And then she goes, yeah. And then, because Pendergrass is letting you know, like Leon Ware is just giving you the blueprint to the evening. You
And
and
Tendergrass said, turn the lights down low, all of that stuff.
Out the lights.
Go ahead. You know, how do you know this music? You're too young to know this music. Now, yesterday I was on a Zoom with all of the Radio 1 broadcasters, and we were doing the WAP music. So now, how do you know? You're going back old school, so you know some good music.
Brother, music. I transcend my time and my place. It's one of my things. All thanks to my parents and me being a weirdo who was born at age 49, I guess. I've been told.
49. That's yeah.
I've been told not time travel a little bit. That's a fun means of conveyance. Life's more interesting too when you just have more shit to draw from. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be limited to your time. Like what if your era is trash? What are you gonna do if you're not into interesting things or just other eras like yourself? There's plenty of things that you can draw from.
Are there eras where there is trash, more trash than?
Oh, this one is vying for the top spot. We got all this technology and we had our all-time worst as people. Come on.
That's so true, man. I didn't want to say this era, but I think you might be right.
No, you didn't. I'll say it for you. You didn't want to be that guy. Oh, back in my day, and
Well, let me tell you something. I grew up in the greatest time ever. You don't even understand. I grew up when you were born. I grew up. Let me put it like this: the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I grew up. I had moved to New York City. Went to the University of Akron, right up the street from Cincinnati. That's where I got my studies, University of Akron, Ohio. The Zips. And we just found out what the Zips are about 10 years ago.
So y'all named that shit and was like, I don't know what it is. It's just Zips.
We found out, somebody explained it to us about 3 years ago. Ohio State, 38, Akron, Zip. That's what we,
oh, no.
Akron, Zip. But the real story on that, Akron was the rubber capital of the world. B.F. Goodrich was the first rubber company, and they made boots for your feet, and they were they call them galoshes. And so you're not old enough. There used to be a rubber boot to go over your feet when it rained. They call them rubbers, and then they had a zipper on the side. So that's what we got to name the zippers. And to be honest, yeah.
And then as time went on, rubbers became condoms.
Exactly. Think that, and then the words transcend to other words. I could go on. Stupid is now a compliment. Somebody tell you you're stupid. That's you stupid, man. It's a compliment. So I'm sort of gonna go on I'm gonna
go on the dive where I'm trying to figure out who actually made rubber, because you know how shit be. They'll tell you, yeah, B.F. Goodrich was the first man to do the rubber and discover the rubber. Yeah, where it come from? Over there. Oh, so what was they doing with it? It was rubber over there. What was that cat's name? I can't pronounce it. You know how shit goes. They Columbus everything.
Well, the rubber actually was produced, I think, in Africa, somewhere in Europe.
That's where the highest concentration of rubber trees and rubber plants come from.
Well, how do you know this?
I just know a thing or two about a thing or two,
In any case, get back to the 70s. Let me tell you about having some fun. I had the days I was in New York City after college, and there's nothing like the late 70s. And I'm sure you heard about Studio 54 and all of that stuff. There was nothing like it, man. Everybody doing anything, everything. Sex was everywhere. People were partying, and we had fun. What stopped that was like 1980, mid-80s AIDS, the disease of AIDS just cut everything off. I mean, all of the restaurants were open 24 hours all night. We would leave the clubs and go to breakfast. But when AIDS came, it put a stop to everything in the 90s, and but we partied our asses off. If you look into your history, I'm sure you've seen everybody talking about Studio 54 and in the clubs in Los Angeles, Atlanta, all of the major places. Man, you're talking about a grateful life. And not only just partying, but people were good. You enjoyed your family, you visited more, and life was just good back in the day. You had no worries. We were growing, but age cut everything off. And then it got a little, not paranoia, but it got a little tricky there. People didn't talk to people, and hands off. It was a new life, just as this epidemic is right now. Stay away.
My pops used to tell me all kind of stories about, like, through his stories, I kind of got a Forrest Gump like glimpse into how life was, and I sort of had arrived at the conclusion, especially compared to today, it was hard to ruin your life back then. Super easy to ruin your life now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a such thing as like, now a DUI is a DUI. Like, you shouldn't be driving under the influence, y'all out there listening. But I would hear stories about, yeah, let me and the boys be in the, in the Z28. Yeah. I had more than one of those. I had two Z28s, a white one and a black one, Rally Sport. And I'm like, cool, that's dope.
GTO, yeah.
They was driving around like Starsky and Hutch, and then they would get pulled over or something because they had one too many or something like that, having a good old time. But the cats would just follow them home. Like the, Boss Hog, he wouldn't necessarily smash out your back tail light, but he would just be like, all right, boys, it's time to go home now. And then they would drive these kids home or make sure that they got home safely.
Isn't that amazing? That's what I think. That's what pisses me off today. Now you're pissing me off. I don't understand. If a drunk fella is walking down the street, okay, and he's in his neighborhood, why take him to jail? That's some bullshit. Let him take him home. No, let's do a better example. What happened in Atlanta? A kid got shot here at Wendy's 3 months ago, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy started running from the policeman, and the policeman shot and killed him. I forgot his name. At the Wendy's, where everybody know about the story. Mm-hmm. But the car is right there, right? Why kill the guy? He's coming back tomorrow to get the car.
Are you talking about the brother Ray Shard? I saw this video of a guy. He was like, my sister and my family, like my three babies are right there.
Exactly. And he like, took off running, and the police shot him and killed him.
Well, it was a damned. I figure in his mind it was a damned if you do and damned if you don't. It's like, well, they kill us sitting still. They kill us moving. I'm going to just take my chances and try to get home. I don't know. He died anyway.
Well, he shouldn't have run in the first place. He shouldn't have ran from the car. But that's okay. You don't kill somebody from running. For what? For just sleeping in the car?
He literally said, hey, man, I can walk home. Because there was another cat that did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
There was a white kid with a machine gun walked straight to Army tanks in Wisconsin and Kenosha, he was strapped down like Duke Nukem or somebody, walking toward the guys, and they went, hey, thanks a lot for your help, son. Tossed him a water bottle because he looked parched.
What'd you call him? Son? 17 years old. 17 years old.
Not even old enough to carry that.
Carry a gun.
That gun
and went back to, they let him go. He went back to his state of Illinois. Mm-hmm. And the kid had been, only thing he would have gone back to if he were black would have been to the funeral home.
He would have gone back to, Thompson Funeral Home.
Yeah, how about that? So It's a different day. It's a new day. We're living in a different time. We don't trust anybody. I'm of age. I worry about something that has bothered me a long time ago in Los Angeles. When I moved to Los Angeles, it was really bad, man. You have no idea. 1976, 77, driving down the street. I was a young man, just moved from New York, had a brand new Lincoln. They pull you over every day, but not every day, but once a week in Beverly Hills, because I lived at the Comedy Store and doing things like that. They would pull you over. It was just terrible, man. Just the policeman just to bother you. And I don't understand. The problem I was speaking of is, why do we always have to get on the ground? I never understood that. Get on the ground. I just thought I should, I'm going to get hurt one day because I'm a decent person. Here's my hands. You want to handcuff me? Why do I have to get on the ground? That's so meaningless and dehumanizing. And so that's why we got a vote, so we can stop some of this shit.
I think that they fear Black people in particular, this lost tribe, on a genetic level at this point. It's just in them to have this insanely irrational and out of proportion fear for our particular group. Because one, our group's culture is celebrated the world over, embraced the world over, and they understand that this whole thing and this whole world, this is their entire buffet. They don't have they don't have much of a culture on their own at all, which is why America looks and seems the way that it does. So they love Thai food. They love Chinese food. So all of that's here. They love barbecue. They love Memphis barbecue and North Carolina barbecue. All of that shit's here. They love hip hop. Their children, our culture raises their children. They hate that. So all of these things, the shoes, the brands, the number one consumers on planet Earth, us, but we are the number one most exploited group of people of all time. With that being said, our population is so minuscule compared to theirs or anyone else's. So for them to be that afraid of so small a population is evidence of how much power we actually have, and also evidence of how much power our own people have no idea that they do have. So it doesn't get exercised, and it doesn't get used, and it gets misplaced, and it gets abused. And we are where we are today.
Couldn't be said better. But, you know, it has always, speaking of policemen, has always been from slavery, control your Negroes, your niggers. That's what it's always been. And it's been day one, and that's what it has continued to be. And it's even their targets, when they go to the shooting range, what color is the target?
It's black as hell.
And they try to hit it when they shoot. That's all they know is shoot that black bastard, shoot that target.
You got to get the groupings right there in the chest.
But when we go and, man, you get in the chest, how come you can't shoot them sometimes in the leg or something like that? You know? So,
that probably isn't enough to stop them.
It's crazy. But in any case, it's a new day. We're living. And we had the George Floyd, which was not first. Thank God to this little thing right here. This thing is powerful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That
this thing is
the
powerful.
Entire game. Yep.
I think one of the first major things this changed was the incidents was Tiger Woods. You know, somebody caught him with his girlfriend in Australia somewhere on.
Which one? He had 72 of them. That boy was busy.
You can't blame him. He was busy, huh?
My brother, he was busy. He was never, ever, ever at home. He had mad substitutes.
Oh man, that's so true. I used to do a joke with about that in Las Vegas. I'm gonna bring it back. I told people I brought Las Vegas back to Las Vegas, and I got him 12 of the best holes in town and got him back on his game. So
George, like, do you know how like you've been in tons of movies, hella TV shows, tons of movies. You have a stand-in. Yeah. When you're like, okay, all right, I'm pressed for time, this and that. I don't want to stand there and just be your eye line the whole time on set. Stand-in stands in, and they do. Like, they just absorb whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds crass, it sounds crude, but it's just mad stand-ins. He probably actually loved his significant other, and she was significant to him, and then these
of course
weren't. But you know, it's just the time that we live in. It's the age that we live in. It's you know, we have different philosophies, and this is when those philosophies clash.
Well,
so yeah,
I guess he learned the lesson. She beat the shit out of him.
Yo, he got his ass beat with
in Florida. Was it the number 9 club? I think.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, a 9-iron. They call it a 9-iron. She stopped. She beat the Cadillac, and that was in Florida. So once again, anything stupid happens, really stupid, go down south. Florida is the worst state in America, of course. You know that.
Florida man. There's so many Florida man stories.
Oh man, people robbing McDonald's with an alligator. Guy put an alligator to the window. It's so much stupid stuff in Florida. It's just crazy, man. Crazy.
Now, Florida, when you look at Florida news headlines nowadays, it reminds me of when I was a kid and we were in the checkout line at any Kroger's or whatever, Thriftway, Save-A-Lot, whatever it was. You would look at the checkout counter. You saw the National Enquirer, which was all bullshit news all the time.
Yes, Enquirer minds.
Bat Boy sitting there, and I'm like, is this thing real? Like, is this real? And my parents were like, no. You know what I'm saying? They look at me like, come on, do you think this nigga's real? And I'm like, I mean, I was a kid. I was impressionable, but it's National Enquirer type news, but that shit be real. Like, remember, like the Miami dude who was on bath salts, which I didn't know was a super, like a cannibal drug where he was eating people's faces.
People, yeah. And oh my, Florida is the craziest state. And they even have a network called the Florida News. Stupid news in Florida.
Oh man,
so much going. They had they got snakes down there eating alligators.
Yes, they do. Pythons. They got anacondas over there because they
It's
love
crazy.
the exotic murderous pets that when they escape, no human can stop them.
The
No
happiest
guns.
place on earth is in Florida, Orlando, Florida. You go there, they don't get, I live in Las Vegas, right? And you've been to Las Vegas. You've got to be 21 years old to lose money in Las Vegas. Orlando, Florida, Disney World, SeaWorld, they don't give a shit how old you are. How old's the baby? 3 years old, $120. Next, they will flat out rob your ass in Florida. They don't give a shit. They got a parking lot. I don't know whether you've been to Disney World.
Hell no.
$25, a million spots. And the parking lot is in Tampa. That's how far it is. The parking lot is, it's so far away from the park. I just say it's in Tampa. But Florida, crazy shit in Florida, man. Crazy shit. And it rains every day at 3 o'clock. And they don't tell you that till you get into the park. And they will sell you a piece of plastic and shit for $9. They just rob you, man. They just take your money there.
That's the only place I've ever heard of where a baby got eaten at a theme park, inside of it. Like inside the theme park, no one's
You know what?
safe.
That is true, isn't it? That is true.
That was also Florida.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about that.
Like these hurricanes understand things that we don't about people, and they be just hating on Florida with reasons that we only come to understand are probably justifiable. There's just some collateral in the way. There's some good people in the way of these hurricanes, but niggas got to go. So these hurricanes be hitting them on the clock, right?
Well, there's certain places a hurricane won't go.
I know.
Now, I've done this research myself. You'll find that hurricanes, they will not, very seldom will they go into an upper class neighborhood, Beverly Hills, Buckhead in Atlanta, wherever you live, if it's an upper class neighborhood, even in New Orleans, about Tulane, hurricanes won't go there. Another place hurricanes won't go. Hurricanes won't go near a Home Depot. If you hear of a hurricane coming, go to Home Depot. I don't give a fuck how bad the weather is. The storm. Home Depot is open tomorrow. Am I right? They got some blue tarp out there waiting for your ass. So a hurricane won't mess with Home Depot. The third place a hurricane won't go. They just won't go. Cleveland. Hurricane.
Are y'all jotting this down, listeners? Jot this shit down, please.
Cleveland, the hurricane going, no. How much damage could we do in Cleveland?
It ain't a whole lot to mess up in Cleveland.
But they tried it again the other night with the debate though in Cleveland. That's what that was. Well, that was a hurricane, though, right? That was a hurricane.
I hear that was a shitstorm.
That was a shitstorm. It was terrible, man. And I'm sure everybody saw it. And I don't think there'll be another debate. You know, if he was sharp, I think Joe Biden should have said, Miss Trump, we're sorry. We know what you're going through, but would you come up here and tell this man what 2 minutes is? 2 minutes are. And I'm pretty sure he already knows, yeah. She been
standing there looking like a POW. She is a POW.
She is a POW.
She been standing there like, man, I'm held hostage. Ivanka, blink twice, or whatever her name is. Blink twice if you are held under duress. Blinking as hard as she can.
Man, when he's out of office, I'm leaving this dude. I'm taking all his money. Well, he doesn't have any money, so she might be just not finding that out. I bet she's just finding out this dude ain't got no money.
It's so hard, man. Like, it's so crazy that just no matter what you do, you can just open up Google to just, you're genuinely curious and you're going to WebMD yourself or something, whatever you got going on in your life. And just no matter what happens, the algorithms, they kick in. And then it's just this.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
No matter what you got going on. It's about
That's
to be
cool, man.
I
like your system, man. You got everything there for you. I don't know how to do anything like that. That is wonderful.
I can educate you. We will educate each
other. How to operate a board.
Oh yeah.
I've been around a board so much in my life, but I never operated a board. I've been a radio head person and number one in the city of Chicago, WGCI, when I did radio there, in Atlanta and New York City. And of course, I was with the Tom Joyner Morning Show for years, but I never learned to operate that board. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been, I think I'd love that. I would love to, because you're in so much control, man. So much control.
I'm going to send you some information is going to contain the board that I actually do use. It's going to be.
There's no need to sending that shit to me.
What?
I'm not gonna read it, and I don't know how. I don't have a board, so I wouldn't know how to do that.
You said you.
You actually have a board. You just got controls there. You don't have a real board. You got a small.
I have a whole interface, brother. Rode.
Really?
Yeah, it was made by Rode. This mic is Rode. Shout out to Rode. They don't sponsor this show. They oughta. We'll see. We'll work this out.
They will.
In due time.
Cool. You got a real studio.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I've been investing, man. Thanks a lot, brother. I've just been investing this whole time. Like I told myself, when the shit all went down, when the vid hit the streets back in March or whenever, I was like, okay, so no matter what happens, this isn't stifling my momentum per se. I just know that no matter what happens, I'm going to come out of this thing, through this thing, better than I went in. I don't know how, but it's just what's going to happen. And I just went into investment mode. I thought of everything I love to do and everything I set out to do, and how could I still do that? How can I get better every single day when I get up and just I'm able to create? I stay in my bag. That way I'm not just sitting there waiting for auditions and shit. It's like, no, I'm just creating shit all day. And then agent hits me up and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll do that too.
That's
no pressure,
cool, man.
no
So
sweat.
you got your shit together, and that's cool.
Does anyone have their shit together at all?
You got your shit together. Yeah, that's some good shit. That's my shit. That's your shit. George Carlin.
Yo, yeah. Shout out to George Carlin, man. Rest in power, brother.
Yeah, that's
it's one of my
he's
favorite.
one of the greatest comedians ever. And because at one time I didn't like him because I would try to do some writing, some comedy, and then I bought a book. He had a book called Brain Droppings.
I've read Brain Droppings, not all of it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I didn't read all of it either because you know why? I just put the damn book down because I thought listen. I thought I was thinking of some shit. It's already in the book. He's touched on everything, George Carlin.
That's why I sat the shit down. I was like, damn it, George. Not only do you come up with the bit about stuff, which blows my mind to this very day.
Exactly.
Stuff.
You know, I thought I wrote a joke about why are all operators always standing by? They're not standing by. They're sitting. I read the book. Why are all operators standing already in the book? I'm going, fuck him. And I just put the book down, man. I think good.
You can tell, like you could tell that with George and Brain Droppings in the beginning of the book, some of that stuff was early George because there have been different iterations of him.
Totally.
So at first he was the clean cut guy at the Copacabana doing those shows.
Oh man, listen to you.
You know what I'm saying?
With your history.
You know, and then after that he kind of evolved because his dream the whole time, because he had the him and Burns. They had the radio show and that sort of thing because he was a radio guy. And then after that shit, he was like, his dream was to be the cool guy
right there?
with the kids, huh?
I did die freeze. What happened?
You froze.
Keep moving. Keep talking, everybody. I'm here with the man Travanti, and we're Mr. Waller, and we're having fun here, and I'm just going to continue talking.
It's all being recorded. And so George, he wanted to always be cool with the cool kids. He wanted to do coffee shops. He wanted to be where the cool kids were. He wanted, and at this point, it was like near like Vietnam and like the war was going on. So here we are. We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
You're back.
Yes, indeed. All right, beautiful.
I kept talking while you were away. I don't know what I was saying. I was trying to host the show.
That's a pro, man. You know how to vamp. I was vamping. You were vamping. Shout out to
But wait a second. I'm impressed with you and everything you're doing right now. So you don't know this, right? So because you know comedy and you went back to Carlin, you went back to Copacabana, and I'm going like, well, hold on a second. This dude knows a little more than I think he knows because that's amazing because I haven't studied as well. I know a lot about black comedy and I got to go study some more. Mm-hmm. But when you get into the history books about real comedy and you hit Carlin and you go back to Copacabana and all of these clubs, it's pretty smart.
I even went
most of the young, especially African-American comedians don't know this shit. So. But,
actually, my family,
you're amazing.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. My family, it was all comedy all the time. Like my Saturday mornings, Saturday nights. Oh yeah, I'm back. My Saturday nights would be spent watching either HBO boxing or it was the special. And Carlin had like 21 specials, so I was always watching Carlin. I was always watching Rock. I was watching Stephen Wright. I was watching Robin Williams.
You were watching Stephen Wright? Really? That's cool, man.
And that
so you must have been in your teenage kid, yeah. You're a teenager at that time watching these guys, right?
I was a kid. I was a little kid, and I was watching all of this different kinds of comedy, and that's how I cultivated my love for it, and I just became a student. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of influenced me in a lot of different kinds of ways. And so, yeah. So
I had people like.
Go ahead.
I had people like Jackie Mums Mabley, and the reason I'm actually in the business as a guy, you don't know this guy, comedian. There's a comedian named Red Skelton, and man, this was a white guy, had characters, and I'm sure you heard of Red Skelton.
I've heard of Red Skelton.
And, I had Red Skelton. I had Red Fox. There was a comedian named Red Buttons. There was another comedian named Pinky Lee. Even back in the day, I had all people of color. Back in the day, all people of color. Red Fox, Red Button, but I had Jackie Mums Mabley, I had Judge Pinkney, Markham, Flip Wilson, and of course I watched, there was Skillet and Leroy, George, the black guy, George, he went to jail for drugs. He went to jail for drugs in Las Vegas. My goodness. George, I forgot him, but he used to do voices. He was really, really, really good. So all of those comedians I studied back in the day. Flip Wilson was great. Yeah.
Flip Wilson was instrumental historically when it came to the variety show for black people, for black men. His audience was white, like it was mainstream.
Yes, of course.
Like the Flip Wilson show, right?
Yeah, but to get on TV, he did, and I came at the end of that era we went to the Tonight Show. So everything was about being clean and being like George, with the tie on and that Tonight Show, Merv Griffin, Phil, I forgot Phil's name, but we were just trained TV-wise. So you really couldn't express yourself. Richard Pryor came out of it. George Carlin came out of it. And that's when you start hearing the curse words and people really expressing themselves. And I'm so glad. I told Russell Simmons about that yesterday because when I started, I'm one of the guys out of the 80s and 90s that could go to the white comedy clubs and work and do all of I opened for everybody, every casino in Las Vegas. I was the guy that did that back in the 80s and 90s. But the young black comedians had no place, no vehicle to express themselves. Then came Russell Simmons with Def Comedy Jam, and that blew it open. I'm so happy that happened. So the comedians can really tell their stories, kind of like rap music.
Because weren't they stuck in the chitlin circuit otherwise? It was just like they were just doing black stuff with black people all the time. And it was like, nah, man, like everybody can do this comedy. Like Owen, I can't remember his last name. Owen Smith, I think is his name. Like people like that.
I got a picture of him. I got a picture of him inside in my office at the older black comedians. So, Amos and Andy and some of these guys. And yeah.
Amos and Andy.
Smith, I can't believe you said that. That's cool.
Well, he's incredible, and he's insanely unsung. He's insanely cerebral when it comes to his writing and just his delivery, but no one knows he exists. The only way that people do today is because of Rogan. Joe Rogan will be like, man, look, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, outside of like Joey Diaz, which is like a good friend of his, is another good friend of his, Owen Wilson. He always tries to champion that black man, and I really appreciate that about him using this platform to do that. It's like, yeah, unsung.
Man, you're smart. You're knowledgeable. I'm learning a lot, man. Thank you so much.
I'm learning a lot, brother. I'm just soaking up game, man.
Hey, and life is good for you?
I can't complain, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's way more people going through way worse, man. Like, life is good. I can't complain because I have one thing that a lot of motherfuckers don't today, and that's health. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
And
speaking of health, I'm crazy because I've been in this house 6 months here in Atlanta. I've never been in a place for 6 months in the same place because I've always traveled. I've been everywhere, but I'm sitting on my ass a lot. I'm not.
You gotta get moving, brother.
I know, man.
You gotta move, especially being advanced in age.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and that's why I'm telling you, I am the laziest son of a bitch ever. Ever. I don't do nothing. And
comedy was your gym.
Listen, oh my God, comedy was my sex and drugs, and I worked every night. I've been working every night for 45 years, every night. Can you believe that? Went to Las Vegas and practically owned Las Vegas, especially for an African American comedian. And a lot of people don't know that George Wallace, when I went to Las Vegas for 30 days, I started there in 1979.
I didn't know that. I was like, you got a residency over there and everything.
Are you kidding? I started there in 1979. I was opening for Diana Ross, and then I opened for Tom Jones for 5 years, Donna Summer, Paul Anka. I opened for everybody because I always wanted to be a comedian. I never wanted to do television. I don't know anything about acting, not movies, anything. All I want to do was tell jokes. I heard the party jokes from Red Fox when we were kids, and I heard Milton Berle, and I heard, and then we heard, I was with Seinfeld back in the day we started, we heard that the guys named Shecky Green, Don Rickles, they were working in Las Vegas. They were making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. Damn, that's good enough for me. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. And I went there, and all of a sudden I did the Tonight Show, and the next thing you know, I'm working there. And I said, okay, I've been doing it for 10 years. Let me do it on my own. So I went into Las Vegas, and for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Of course, you know, the reason I was successful in Las Vegas because before I did the professional comedian route, I was vice president of the world's largest outdoor advertising agency. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So everything at Times Square, all of the billboards, the spectaculars at Times Square, all of the 5,000 buses in New York City, all of the subways, the ads on those vehicles and up and down the streets, the billboards, I sold that space. So in 1975, 74, I was making like $75,000 a year then.
No, that's bank.
Yeah. So, but all I ever wanted to do was go to Las Vegas and become a comedian. I said, I went into the comedy store one day, into the comic strip in New York City one day. It was a new comedy club. And I said, and by the way, I do a little comedy myself. And they said, well, come back in. So I went back in, I sold the program, and I went back in on Thursday night to audition. And Friday night, I've been working every night ever since. So when I got to Las Vegas and made my little move there, I came for 30 days, 6 days, 90 days. And the president of the hotel says, you ain't going nowhere. I wound up staying at the Flamingo for 10 years. Man. 10 years. But I didn't work for the hotels. Okay. I own the show. So it's something you should never do unless you know what you're doing. I did the marketing. I did the advertising, because I'm smart enough to know to go to the advertising people in Las Vegas and go, hey, you got 10 boards open out there on the road. I'm going to pay for 2, but put me up on the other 6 of the 8 that you got. You might as well. I knew this jargon. I knew the lingo to talk to them, you know what I'm saying? And what I do, everybody else would do. I would go to the trucks, the vehicles that go up and down the streets in Las Vegas, and everybody would have a truck going up and down. I said, you know what? I'm going to put 5 trucks back to back to back to back to back to back. And people came to me like, man, what is wrong with you? Why would you put all of those trucks back to back to back to back to back to back? I said, why are you asking me? Got your attention, didn't it? Got your attention, didn't it? And then everybody started to copy off me. But I was blessed to go to Las Vegas. They called me the new Mr. Vegas for those years back then. And I have the honor of working in Las Vegas more shows than any African-American ever. That includes Red Fox, Sammy Davis Jr., and Lena Horne, because I owned the show. I was the producer, the director. I had 26 employees. It was pretty, 800-seat room at the Flamingo in Las Vegas all those years. So, and it's just a pleasure, just being blessed to be able to do that, man. And now I'm back there right now at the Westgate. I'm at the Westgate right now. I'm not there now, but I'm on the board. Okay. And when this bid is over, then I'll go back in. I'm not in a hurry to get back on. Las Vegas is going to open up as of yesterday. It's going to open back up on the 20th of November.
Yeah, you got to let them catch that shit first in unprecedented amounts and then let it die down.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You be thinking. I be thinking.
My brother.
So, and then they might, they might throw me out of the hotel because I'm not ready to go back to work yet. I've done 100,000 shows already. So I want them to vaccine or whatever. I don't trust the system, in showbiz. Matter of fact, I didn't get fired, but I just quit a job at Netflix.
Recently?
It's the Jamie Foxx show. We shut down on March 14. And it was
the Power Show?
It's a great show. It's about Jamie Foxx's life at Netflix. And it's called Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. It was about his daughter, me, and everybody else that was freeloading on him in his house. His real life. And I played the second character, Jamie Foxx, George Wallace. I was his daddy. And when we shut down March 14, and they're back now. And they asked me to come back. I think they've been back like 3 weeks. And I said, I'm not ready to come back yet because I fit so many descriptions from the CDC. They didn't want to fly on the airplane at the time. I'm 5 pounds overweight. I'm black, borderline, hypertension. So I chose not to go back. And so as far as acting, I quit that show. And fortunately, they had paid me for every show already.
Hey.
And I'm scared because I'm wondering, are they going to ask for the money back?
I would sit it over there.
So I stopped that. That's what I did. So so I'm out of that. You were talking about me getting into television and everything. What was the original? My thought just went crazy there. What were we talking about?
You were talking about your residency. So I'd asked about your residency.
Yeah. So that's why now I'm back at the Westgate there, and I own and operate that show also.
So surely you've encountered Wayne Newton a million times.
Wayne Newton. Listen. Hey. So the newspapers told me, they said, George Wallace, the new Mr. Vegas. George Wallace, the new Mr. Vegas. And I'm like, damn, the newspapers, it's in the news. The head guy, reviewer, critic. I said, oh, shit. And so I left it alone for 2 years. And I thought about it, man, you got to take advantage of that stuff. I didn't say it. They said it. And I called the guy to the newspaper. He says, you damn right, go with it. The new Mr. Vegas. Wayne Newton did call me.
It's a built-in nonstop. Like, it's like an anti-pitch. You don't have to pitch. It's like, I'm me. And then that's enough. That's what that is. I'm me. Yeah, that's enough, they say. Yeah. Then you're just in there.
Wayne Newton was angry. He called me and said, don't listen to that guy, man. Don't go and just do that. I said, well, yeah, before you got here, before they call you Mr. Las Vegas, Sammy Davis Jr. So it's always somebody to take your place. So I have to ride with it, dude.
That's why I asked about Wayne Newton, because I knew that he probably thought that he was the one. Because
and he got old and he
was the one.
Well, he was one. Nobody did better than he. Let me tell you, I didn't make the money he made. I can tell you that. He was back in the day when every show was sold out, no matter what. I was opening for people like that, Tom Jones and that Caesar's Palace, and that's how I really learned how to do comedy. I was open, but every show was sold out back in the day, and you couldn't go in the showroom without a jacket. Did you know that? You had to be dressed.
No, bro.
You had to be dressed
in a hot ass suit under them hot ass lights.
Well, the rooms were cool, but you were at a show, man. You were in Circus Maximus showroom. You were in good shape, looking good in the jacket. They had dinner shows and everything. But
now you said that you were at the Comedy Store, and that was one of my favorite places. Like, that's one of my joints. Like that's where I'll be. Actually, a good friend of mine, Steve Simone, he runs the community outreach and everything over there at the Comedy Store. He just, like everyone else, they started.
Why don't I know you? Why come I never see him? Because I'm not there every day like I used to.
Because you don't
live there.
Yeah, like we just miss each other all the time. You know.
And when I would come in, I would do 15 minutes and leave because I'm one of the guys that do the Comedy Store and rush over to the Improv and get off stage and then rush up to the Laugh Factory and then go over to the comedy. What's the one on my friend over on Pico? Comedy.
On Pico, what is
the Black Club?
Well, there's Ice House. There's shit. I don't know what the Black Club would be on.
It wasn't a Comedy Zone. A guy named is Ian on Pico, just before Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle. Comedy Union.
Oh, okay.
Used to love that place. Man. So, and I'm surprised I hadn't run into you.
Yeah, because I would be there. Like, Steve was like, whenever you want to pull up, just let me know, and like, you just in there. And so I'll just be like, yo, Steve, I'm bringing so and so through, or I'm bringing a little bitty through. Say no more, fam. Just walk up to the thing, and then just walk on in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is at the Comedy Store. I never see you. Like, I would be in the back kicking it with Brody Stevens, you know what I'm saying? Like, just whoever's back there.
These are new guys. These are new guys, you know.
These are newer guys.
I was there years before you got there, probably.
But Witherspoon, so you definitely was functioning with John Witherspoon then, because he started with Mitzi just working the door, like just working out front.
John Witherspoon is the first comedian to bring me on stage. 1977. Wow. Yes, he was on stage and he was emceeing and he was great. He was, we became friends. Of course, back then, there's only like 4 black comedians.
It's all y'all had was the 3 of y'all.
And Paul Mooney and who else was there? Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, me, and a few other guys. Marshall Warfield, a few of us. Yeah, so
Rest in power.
We hung together every night. And Spoon had told her at his funeral, I told the story that he came out to Beverly Hills to become a model. And I told him at the funeral, who the fuck told you was cute?
Yo, Spoon shared that story, and I was like, a model, huh?
You look twice too, huh?
I never knew.
A model, huh? Yeah, he used to work in Beverly Hills selling ladies' shoes. You know?
He came from Detroit. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
And he goes from, I'm like, oh man, you from Detroit? My best friend is from Detroit. He grew up in Southfield. You know what I'm saying? And that sort of thing. And then he went, I was a model. Detroit, I was a model. I was like, what?
Dude, 1977, when I first met him, after about 2 weeks, we all go together. Every night after the show, we go eat breakfast. And he studied a little, he studied a little bit. And I'm like, who the fuck told you was good? How the fuck? Because we eat each other up. You know how we are. Just,
yep.
You shut up. Yeah. And Tim Reed was sitting there, and Tim Reed said he would never succumb to the white man to doing crazy shit like wearing outrageous colors and all kind of stupid ass shit and turn you into a nigger, he said. And the next thing you know, his ass is on WKRP with a feather coming on his hat with an orange hat on. So we thought he said, brother, the money, and Tim Reed. So never know what you're gonna do.
Shoot, Spoon used to have some shirts on. He used to like a rodeo clown with them shirts with the flower petals.
The rodeo clown that comes out of the barrel, right?
Yes, that comes out the barrel to like get the heat off of you, the matador, so you can get the hell up out of there.
I can see the blue and white one right now.
That blue and white pants. Shirt. Yes, with the yellow ass pants, the banana boat yellow pants.
Man, that was my friend. He called me by my first name. He knew me before I was George Wallace. My real name is Henry Wallace. So when I got to Las Vegas, when I got to Los Angeles, already Henry Wallace in the Union. My dumb ass said, well, I'll take my daddy's name. What the hell is George Wallace? But every time he said, Henry! That's what he goes, Henry! And the people that really know me, comedians that started back in the 70s and Jay Leno and everybody, Henry! You know, it's amazing. So, but Spoon was great, man. What a good friend he was.
What's incredible about hearing him speak or talk is you realize, you know, and I think that this guy is always this. This is literally him.
No. That was him. Pops. That was him. Yeah, that was him.
Wow.
That's straight ahead. Everything he did in the Fridays, all of the movies, that was him. Don't nobody go in there for 3 weeks.
It's going to be about 45 minutes. It's going to be about 45 minutes. Like, such a classic human being.
You got voices there. You're good.
You two are one of one.
Now, I talk a little more because it's 6:07. I got another show I'm going to prepare for. But like I said, we're going to come back and we're going to do this again.
Yes, sir. Again.
I'm learning from you. But it's been an honor. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. And we've been talking for a long time. And I guess we just met over the online somewhere, right?
This is Twitter. It was Twitter. Like years and years and years ago. It's been that long.
2011.
I say,
I think you started in 2009.
Yeah, I technically started in 2009. You started in 2011.
I started in 2011.
Yep. And
how come we remember each other's shit? Cause we go, look, and I missed you for 5-6 years, dude.
I was on some bullshit. Plus, it's been about that long since I've even been on Twitter at all. Cause
you went away.
It's just a goofy place. I was just so focused on what I was doing, and Twitter's a bunch of bullshit. So I decided to
not like Facebook. I got to fuck off Facebook. I can't handle this, man.
I ain't been on that in years.
That was crazy, man. And I had a birthday, and one time I had a birthday, I got 3,000 happy birthday. I don't know these fucking people. And I just said, I can't take this anymore. You know, every night you read your email, just got to be too much. So I want to wait for, I'm still away on every now and then I go back to Facebook for some reason.
Sometimes people will send me some shit that's on Facebook, and I'm like, damn, this is going to send me to Facebook, and I don't be on that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But it's a good place to promote yourself and do things. So, but I can't get into it yet. But I want to thank you for this time. And if you got any more questions for me, you can do that. You can say that.
My brother, this is the start of a beautiful thing, or the continuation of a beautiful thing. Like, you're about to be right back, and we're about to fly right back like we never left, brother.
And when I get back to LA, we'll sit down and have some coffee together, okay? And I will buy the coffee.
Yes, sir. Okay. And what are your socials? Like, where can people reach you? What's coming up next?
You can reach me at Twitter. The show is in Las Vegas, so everybody.
Not that one. Not that one. The one tonight. Sybil.
Oh, Sybil. Yeah, that's right. We're on Sybil Wilkes Live. Yeah, everybody knows Sybil Wilkes from the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And I'm on with her tonight, 7 o'clock. Go to YouTube and go to Facebook and catch us out there. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to talk about voting. We're going to talk about voting tonight and what's going on in America. Things you need to know.
Bring your asses.
Yeah, bring your asses. Call some friends. Let's do that. go to YouTube, okay? 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be there and we'll be talking. George Wallace has also a new show coming up. I'm going to get around to it. Talking Chit with George Wallace. Talking Chit. It's a chit chat show.
It's a chit chat. It's a chit chat show.
So if you want to come on, we'll definitely have you on to talk some chit.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
So,
you say the word.
Also, I'm also doing a show. Like I said, I just stopped doing the Jamie Foxx show. Daddy, please stop embarrassing me. I'm also connected with Norman Lear. I've known him for many years. And just this year, I went back to Norman Lear. And I said, I want to reboot Sanford & Son or something similar. He said, no, we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that. This guy's 97 years old. Had a meeting with him, just brought me in. He loves me. And I thought about it after I left. I said, I got it. A friend of mine has 2 kids. And one of the kids is, even at that age, is transgendered, in transit. Didn't know, he's a little boy, but he wanted to.
Is he in transition?
Now, in transition means you're doing the operation and everything like that, right?
Right, that's true.
But he's just a little boy, but he always liked doing girlish things, wearing girl clothes and things like that. And and we talked about that as a kid. I said, but Dan, it doesn't matter what he is, you got to love this kid, right? So as we were talking there, and we was talking about the show at the same time, and he said, bam, I want to do Sanford & Son. What we gonna do? Then I thought about Laverne Cox.
Oh, right, from Orange is the New Black. Shout out to Laverne.
So here's the new Sanford & Son. Laverne Cox, we were born, the show is based out of Mobile, Alabama. Mm-hmm. And me being a black dad, you know what black dads do, especially in the South? We put bread on the table, food on the table, and that's all we do. The mother usually raise the kids and things like that. Or what we did was we try to get the kid to play baseball, football. Well, my son was not into that. My son was a little different. And the dads say they don't know, but they do know that the boy's a little different, but they don't accept it because back in the day, it was just stupid. People got to be educated. So, but this kid's turned 16. He goes to New York City. When you go to New York City, most people go there to do their thing, to do and be who they want to be. And he did very successful in New York. Then he had a breakdown, but he came back to Mobile, Alabama, knocked on the door, said, Dad, it's me. I said, me who? It's your son, Edwin. But he has a new name. I forgot his new name. And are you his wife? Because he's all transitioned now. And so now I slammed the door in his face, and he knocked again, and said, it's me. And I had to be, I thought it's such a great premise that now I've got to learn, I got to be educated, and America has to be educated about dealing with, letting people be who they want. Love is love, and love trumps everything. And what I didn't understand, now I do have to understand. Every time I call him a he, I have to put $1 in this jar. All kind of crazy things. Eventually I have her running, and we go back to the church. We take it because this is the worst place to go for homosexuality or any kind of transitional program, because the black church has got to learn and to deal with everybody in that. Because, if it wasn't for, how do you say that? One preacher said, it wouldn't be no choir if they weren't.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So don't try to go too
all
crazy.
Runs.
Yeah, don't try to go too crazy if they were not in the church. So you can talk too much if you want to.
They was all up in the church.
All up in the church. So we deal with the church, and eventually I'll have her running for mayor of the city. She not necessarily will win, but it does create awareness where people learn to live with each other, no matter what. So it's all about love, me learning, me being educated, the city being educated, the world being educated. So, and that show is going to be called Clean Slate, unless we change the name. George Wallace, Norman Lear, and Laverne Cox.
Okay, and Mr. George Wallace can be found at Mr. George Wallace?
At Mr. George Wallace, that's on Twitter, and the real George Wallace on Instagram, if I ever get a chance to go over there. Sometimes older people don't do things as well as you younger people. We just lazy and shit and don't want to learn. So, I should be on Instagram every night. I love going to everybody else's Instagram. I love talking. I ain't got nothing to do. I just love lying and making up shit. That's what I love doing.
We make stuff up. That's what we do. And this beautiful thing that we're able to do.
And I'm learning so much more about you, and you know so much about comedy. I want you to get your ass out on that stage. You understand me?
Well, sir, I guess I'm going to have to go on and do that then. And I've done it once. I've done it out in Louisville, Kentucky.
You only done it once?
I've done it once.
Let me tell you this. It's a lot of work. I can't tell you to get into comedy because it's nothing. It's the hardest thing to do art form wise. I can't tell you to do that because it's so much work, and it's something you got to have it in you. And you know, like I say, doing comedy is my sex, it's my drugs. There's nothing better than going on that stage talking to people that I don't even know. And man, when I see happy people, it makes me happier. I wrote a book called Laugh It Off.
Mm-hmm. Laugh It Off by George Wallace. I was encouraged
to write this book by Joel Osteen, and the foreword is written by my best friend of 45 years, Jerry Seinfeld. We'll talk about a lot of this stuff the next time when we come back. But in the book on page 62, it says, honor your essence. And when you honor your essence, you go and you show people you love what you do. Mm-hmm. I love what I do. I go on stage. People come, they pay you to see me. I always say I would do it for free, but they pay me, and they pay me all kind of crazy ass money. And I just tell the people, and I crack up every night. I'm so blessed. All I do is just lie, just make up shit, just lie. But people need laughter in their life because laughter is healing for the soul. When you stop laughing, you stop living.
I'm gonna send you some of the comedy shit that I've done because I dedicated my life to comedy and martial arts, but comedy, I just don't do it on the stage. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, because you might be a great writer. You might be a great producer.
I went to school, so at Syracuse, and we'll unpack this in our next conversation. I went to Syracuse. Evan Smith.
You really think you're something, don't you?
No. I was in television, radio, and film programming.
You really think you're something. And you better always answer that. You better always answer that question with a yes. You better always say
yes. Hell yeah.
Hell right. There you go.
Right.
Yeah, own that shit, man. Own that shit. When I say that, that's a great compliment. You really think you're something, don't you?
I went there to study comedy. Yeah, like it was interesting. Comedy
Syracuse. Almost got a job at Carrier. Is that what the Carrier air conditioning place is? What's in Syracuse?
Carrier Stadium.
The Carrier Dome.
Yep.
Yeah. Were you there in school when the basketball people were crazy? You guys were winning everything?
Yep. I was there. That's when we had LaMelo or Melo or whatever. Not Carmelo Anthony, but new cats like Scoop Jardine and those guys.
Scoop Jardine, crazy ass name.
So
I was going to ask you something about anything else was happening in Syracuse at the time, just basketball?
Basketball,
cool.
When I left, the other stuff, the allegations, the weird stuff that was going on there behind closed doors, that was going on. But other than that, I was neck deep in comedy writing and breaking down scripts and learning how to produce a show and run a show and all that stuff. Editing.
I can learn a lot from you. Look at you, learn editing and comedy.
Radio. A lot of radio, so I was learning how to use it.
I don't know this stuff. I don't know anything like that.
Chroma key, green screen. You do, though, because you got on the job experience. That's more valuable than going to school to learn the shit.
But what if I knew it like you know it?
You would be the same dude you are today. You didn't need that shit. Look at you. Look what you've done. Come on.
Let me tell you something else. I am the most successful entertainer you've ever met. It's not how much money you make, it's how you enjoy your life living. And I talk all the time. We were talking about 3 years ago, Seinfeld, myself and Anderson. What's the name on Cooper? Anderson Cooper.
I was going to think Anthony Anderson.
Well, throw him in there too. So we're talking about, is it better to be rich or better to be famous? And we're just talking on that. So, you know what? I got it better than both of you guys. I got enough money to retire, do anything I want to do. I could do shows. I could travel all over the world. Everything you guys do, I can do it. But I can go pee. They can't go pee.
They can't do nothing.
Cameras on them everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
They can keep that. For real. Like, if I'm respected among my peers and my people, I'm cool. Just give me the bags. Give me the bags. I want to go shopping when I want to go shopping.
Oh, and nobody bought, and I'm telling you, enough people know me walking down the street, hey, Mr. Wallace, satisfy my little ego.
Mm-hmm.
And to this, and I just believe that. And I'm so blessed to be honored with a profession that I love what I do. I have a passion for just saying hello to people, and people come and say hello to me. So hello to you, and thank you. And you need to know something good is going to happen to you, whether you like it or not. And I'm Dr. George Wallace. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And I always have to finish up saying, with your punk ass. So,
with your punk ass.
So, man, let's do it again. I love you too. Get back to me. Let's talk again, okay?
Yes, sir, brother.
And I'm of age. So that means I got to go pee. Be good, man. We're out of here.
We'll
Okay,
talk
keep
soon.
smiling no matter what.
Yes, sir, brother. See you soon.
got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was George Wallace. That was the legendary George Wallace. Do your research, do your Googles. Use Bing if you got Bing. Use whatever you need to do. If you have any questions for me, you can send it all, your inquiries, your content to imeanpod@gmail.com. Reach out to me on Instagram at Monkey D Travanti, like Monkey D Luffy, Monkey D Travanti. Okay? I'm the same thing on Twitter, Monkey D Travanti on Twitter. Holla at me. You can send anything over there. We can just have a conversation, whatever's on your mind, right? And, you know, be respectful, keep it within reason, you understand? And also, I stream on Twitch, so that's a fun way to interact with one another too. I'm on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Monkey D Travanti. I'm Monkey D Travanti on Twitch and Discord. Sign up, motherfuckers. Rate the show. If you like the show, you can rate me, leave a sterling 5-star rating. That helps with the algorithms and algorithms. That helps me be visible to people who might not be familiar with the show, but are looking for a show like this and a host like this and with guests like this, you know what I'm saying? Conversations like this. So I really appreciate y'all for rocking with me and showing me some love and some respect. We could all use that, and that shit goes a long way. Yeah, so I mean that I'm gonna put these bits of information in the description. Please share, like, subscribe. You can visit my website, my personal site at www.imean.com. That's IMEAAAN, imean.com. It's got cool, fun content. I update that stuff when there are needs or reasons to update the shit. And we'll be right back with another one. So I just appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And this is just going to be the first of many conversations with my brother, good friend George Wallace. All right? Appreciate it, y'all. Y'all be good. Stay safe. Wash your fucking hands and brush your teeth.
But in the streets, living savagely, got caught. Bitches.